Well, the full version of Philip Rosedale's new project, High Fidelity, is expected to be finished next year. Mark New sat down with Rosedale to discuss his new project and get his thoughts on the future of virtual worlds. He started by asking him about how the metaverse works.
As we get this ability with all this new technology to really do virtual reality and then to do virtual reality in shared spaces where there are other people, it seems likely to me that we are and to many other people, that we're going to get some sort of a big shared space that is connected together in some meaningful way. So greater than, a video game that you play, we're going to have some sort of something that feels maybe a little bit like the web did when it came out, where we have all these interconnected spaces and we have all sorts of people in those spaces together doing things.
You already created a highly popular virtual world in Second Life. Second Life has, I think, 1 million users logging on every month, which is great for almost anybody. But if you compare it to something like Facebook, where there's like, I think, 900 million a day, do you think anything went wrong with the model, or is it all preparing for High Fidelity?
No, I think there's a lot of stuff we did right with Second Life that nobody else had done, which is why Second Life has had such a enduring, has had such impact and has continued on for so long. What we did right was we allowed people to build. We allowed people to be there with each other and build and have complete control over what they were doing. What we couldn't have done right, I think, was we just didn't have the ways to get into the environment, the headset and the hand controllers. We also didn't have a fast enough network or fast enough computers.
Explain to us how money is handled in the virtual world and in Second Life, and how it's going to be handled in your new project, High Fidelity.
Well, money in Second Life today obviously does continue to drive a lot of amazing stuff. The gross domestic product, if you will, of Second Life today is still about $750 million US a year in transactions going on in the virtual world. I think High Fidelity will be much the same. We haven't outlined all of our plans for what we do with currency yet, but in a very similar way, we're going to enable people to, if they choose to, make money and drive content around the world by buying and selling it from each other. So some of the same stuff.
So you can actually make a living playing Second Life?
Oh, absolutely. There are thousands of people today whose jobs are mostly building things and doing things inside Second Life. So a lot of things like interior design or building furniture or building meeting spaces. Those are things that people make their real life livings. But there's probably only a few thousand or so of people that are at that scale. So then the opportunity we have now is to take it from 1 million people using it to 1 billion people like we have on the internet, so about 1,000 times larger.
So virtual money can be cashed out in the real world.
That's right. The people that make money in Second Life today have the option of taking that money in the world and turning it back into their local real currency.
About 10 years ago, a Second Life user found a way to hack the system and get virtual property at cheaper prices. You terminated his account. He sued because of his virtual assets were gone. How is High Fidelity going to take care of these legal issues differently?
Well, Second Life certainly created a whole bunch of genuinely novel legal and business situations where sometimes we were stuck in the middle trying to figure out what the right thing to do was. High Fidelity is going to be a little different, though, because High Fidelity is a completely open source system, and its servers are not operated by us. It is a thing where you deploy your own servers. So that'll change the legal ramifications. So many of the decisions that were, I think, explored the first time in Second Life, we won't be involved in, but I think the people that are running their own planets or schools or areas inside High Fidelity will probably look back on some of the precedent that was set by Second Life.
Having spent so much time in virtual worlds, do you have any advice for novices who may enter this world?
We want to consume information, and we are easily overloaded by it to the point of being dysfunctional. And I think that virtual worlds, as we immerse themselves in them, are going to be the same kind of problem. They're going to be overwhelming. So whether we all learn to sort of stop every hour and meditate for 5 minutes, or whether we sleep more or whatever, we're going to have to do something to deal with the fact that we are, as we've been doing with our mobile devices, we're now going to put those mobile devices on our face, so to speak, and immerse ourselves in an environment that, if we don't pay attention to it, will make us kind of senseless because there's just so much to take in.